Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your least favorite podcast, featuring your least favorite RPG game is Getselious and Sithscott.
Hello.
And we're on our fourth save of support save scumming. I almost botched that because it has been a while that we teamed up, as well as we're save scumming, so we could just reload this anyway. Welcome to support save scumming. So yeah, it's been an interesting month of games. I think April has been another banger month for RPGs.
Yeah, it really has.
Another banger munch. But before we start, let's talk about RPGs we played, let's say this month. So, Scott, what RPGs did you play this month?
Alrighty, so I'll get the big one out of the way, but one that I've played and the review of it should be up probably by the time you see this is Clair Obscure Expedition 33. So it's getting a lot of praise and a lot of hype, and I do think a lot of it is warranted. It is actually a very good and fantastic RPG. The turn-based system with the more dynamic elements work extremely well. They do a lot of innovations that have come before in previous games, but they melded them together in such a way that it runs pretty snappy and it works pretty well. The story itself, I think, is also pretty phenomenal, especially with just how much it gives you in each little section of the game, that it wants you just basically keep continuing to play the game. It doesn't feel like it goes on for too long at times. So I think that's one of the big highlights of this month, especially that we'll talk probably more about later on in the podcast. Another one that I've played is one that released on Steam recently, but I've also already played before, which is The Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. Played on the Steam release just to test it out on the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally. I'd recommend probably going on the Steam Deck more than the ROG Ally, just because the AMD chip on the ROG Ally has some weird issues. Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. So I don't know all the problems it could have on there, but I do think Steam Deck is your best bet if you are one to play it on the go. Which Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero is actually really good on the go, because it has short little bite-sized missions you can do, especially if you do like the DLC missions, or if you just want to do some of like the quest missions that you can get on the side. Or if you really want to go full ham, you can try doing the dungeons, but those are a little longer than bite-sized because they can go for a while.
Well,
Those are like the main two that I've played this month in terms of RPGs.
if you got a long commute, I guess you can do a full dungeon. I guess.
Yeah, very long commute. You got it.
Yeah, very long commute. Yeah. The RPGs I've been playing this month is again, Final Fantasy 14. I've actually gotten back to playing the story of
Oh,
Endwalker.
nice.
I so I'll probably get more to that. This time I'm going to be playing Endwalker as a DPS. I'll be playing with Viper, one of the classes I also play in PvP. So I've also been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, also the Crystal Line Conflict League. My free company Tide's been doing it. So my team, as of yesterday, is longer undefeated. We lost. We got beat
Oh.
bad 3-0 in the end of an era, baby. Floor tank anonymous. We
Oh.
actually floor tanked that. No, it was a good game. Each match went into
Yeah.
overtime. I feel that the enemy team aggression was really really up there. So it's maybe we'll get them. Hopefully we'll get them back at the end of the season. But we're both the top two teams right now.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're only ahead because we have no map losses except to them.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty close. It's a close league, and so basically, it's a fun experience. So I've been playing 14, both PvP and PvE. I've been playing a lot of Dark Deity 2. Scott can confirm that I play a lot of Dark
Yeah.
Deity 2. Too much. I enjoy it. Again, it's one of the very few games I gave a 5. That's a big deal. Like if I give a game a 5, that's like exceptional because I don't give 5s to anybody, literally anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. There are 2-point-click games that came out we're looking forward to for years. They're not 5s. That's that is
Ooh.
that they're not 5. They're not 5s, and not because they're bad games. It's because to be a 5, you have to hit above and beyond what I expect. I expect you to be good. You have to be better than good.
Yeah.
I've also been playing. The last one we'll probably get into also in the podcast is Legend of Hero: The Daybreak 1, and I have a lot of talk about Daybreak 1 and how I feel about it as I go further into the game. But as Scott mentioned
Nice.
earlier, we're talking about Clay Obscure 33 Expedition 33, and he brought it to my attention. I found it on Reddit. Apparently, this is another classic. You know, ARPGs suck and turn RPGs are based. What's going on here?
Yeah, I am so annoyed with sometimes when it comes to the RPG community. Some people decided that because one game is good, that means the other game is bad, or because one type of genre is good, it means the other genre is bad. Now, I'm not going to say that you are bad at if you have a preference. I'm just saying that if you think your preference is fact, that you're wrong.
Oh no, 100%. Because it's like the only way I could judge my preference is compared to others. Like for example, I can say Dark Deity 2 is better than Grey Heritage, the first Grey Heritage game. I can say that because they're within the same genre. I could say that, and my reasoning is because in Grey Heritage, the game just feels much more drawn out and longer, while Dark Deity 2, it's much more punchy and the chapters end quickly. Even if there are longer chapters. That is something I can say. But I cannot compare something like Advance Wars to Dark Deity 2 because they're two different games. And Advance Wars, a battle can rage, I kid you not, for 2 hours. Depending on the map and depending on your commanding officer you have. And by the way, the game some missions don't punish you based on time, so you can still get your S rank. Just let you know. So cool.
It's nice when you don't have to speed run things you don't want to speed run. Honestly,
that's true. But yeah, I've always found it horrible, like in general, comparing turn-based to action RPGs, or because to be fair, they're two different things doing two complete different things. It would be like again, let's compare the Tales of series to the Legend of Heroes, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, the Tales versus Trails.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are not something that I would necessarily say you should compete with each other.
No. And it's super weird because it's like I think when I was researching it, some people were also using this as an attack again to say everybody remember Final Fantasy 16 sucks. I'm like, oh my god, how many times I have to hear this?
Yeah, right. I don't know why there's so many people who basically say that Final Fantasy 16 sucks and then basically make that their personality now when they judge any game that comes out that's an RPG.
And by the way,
like you're fine to not like Final Fantasy 16, but trying to basically make all these other games as above it because you don't like the game, especially when they aren't even in the same type of RPG genre, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
And here's the thing too. Final Fantasy 16, I'll be honest with you, is slightly above mid. Slightly above mid because that action system is kind of cool. That's it.
Yeah.
I agree that story is there's not a lot of content in the game. That's true, but you know what? There are like 20 other Final Fantasy games you could play. There's 14.
There's like 20 Final Fantasy 7 games you could play.
Exactly. You know what's a better ARPG? Why don't you play 7 and the 2 7 games? You can play even Ever Crisis, Crisis Core. You can play Final Fantasy 14 Peak. You know, Yoshi P said it's peak, so you can play that. You can play Final Fantasy 9. It's like, what is wrong with you, man? It's like, because I generally think like the problem with if you want to have real conversation about 16. 16 is a very dry bones game that has a cool action system. It is the most least content Final Fantasy game I've ever played, and I mean this as somebody who played the entire 13 series. It has 16 has less content than 15. But 15 is much more fun game.
We have to also make sure that you're talking about launch 15, because 15 now has a crap ton of content.
Oh yeah, launch 15. Yeah, 15. Well, 15. Yeah, more than 15 complete. Yeah, 15 complete. I would say the 15 complete. Yeah, exactly. So it's like exactly. Like it's upsetting because it's like, do you guys enjoy RPGs? Like you don't have to like action RPGs. That's true. Like you know what? I think I was talking to Scott off camera, like about the stream start, before the podcast started. You know what? Every RPG is eating well. You know what's eating well? SRPGs. People like
SRPGs. You might get some niche or some like indie ones that are still doing SRPGs, but we haven't seen like a big robust SRPG system Sometimes you get Fire Emblem coming back sometimes, but other than that, you don't see a whole lot of people trying to tackle SRPGs anymore.
And even then, like at best, Fire Emblem is like kind of in its own space where, like,
Yeah.
and this is my opinion about all Nintendo games. Nintendo games are Nintendo games plus a genre. At the end of the day, people play Nintendo games, not the genre. Hot take, hot
Yeah.
take, hot take. Because it's like I don't see people playing, Fire Emblem are also playing Tactics Ogre at the same time. Peak.
Yeah.
And I mean modern Fire Emblem. I'm not talking about Fire Emblem, 6 through 9, which is peak. Or if you want to be old man head, 4 through 8 is peak. Okay, let's just pick 4 through 8. Pick any of them; they'll be good. I'm
Yeah.
not even joking.
Yeah,
Bring.
speaking of
Oh
which,
god.
all those who were fans of the Sacred Stones, the NSO expansion finally got access to that game.
Oh my god, I'm so happy about that. You get to play the twins. That's so good. Though,
Yes.
though to this day, I still think Erica is more broken than Eric. I still think Erica is
Yeah.
busted compared to her brother. I still think. But yeah,
Yeah.
Sacred Stones is also a fantastic game. I think, in my opinion, Sacred Stones made it easier to unlock the support conversation system compared,
Hmm.
which became the open gateway to a lot of games doing that. Because if you played Fire Emblem before Sacred Stones, I think the Sacred Blade series, which is the Farain saga, which is the Roy, Ewood, Lynn, Hector saga, all that stuff. Getting support conversations was rough. It was very hard. You had to like 5 playthroughs to get somebody. In Sacred
Yeah.
Stones, it's very easy. So I support that. You know, and
Yeah.
other games took that idea and did it better, like Modern Fire Emblem games and Dark Deity 2 did that good as well.
In case you want more Dark Deity too.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like that's the only, and this off tangent. It's like SRPGs are not eating well, but there's still games about it. But it's like if anyone should complain, SRPG fans. There's only one game that came out this month. We'll talk about it, but it's like that's it. And the month before, so it's like we'll talk about it later in our recommendations. But it's like you would think that turn-based RPGs and the people take RPGs like y'all, you guys are fine. There are a lot of games for you, and even if you don't like 16, you can still play Arise. There are many action roguelikes that are taking the ARPG formula. Let's
Yep.
be honest with you. There are tons of them using that. The ARPG, you guys are eating well. Turn-based RPGs, I'm glad y'all have a good one. I'm still waiting for Dragon Quest 12. That's gonna be peak.
Still waiting for that because that's gonna be great. Yeah.
Exactly, but
And I will still complain that we still have knockout Dragon Quest 10 over here.
oh god, I think they have to like patch and give us the offline version, then I'll play it. But
They should absolutely do that. We have an offline version of it. At least translate it and put it over here.
yeah, you know what they should do also if they want to give the offline version like co-op play with your friends. Oh, you know what RPG fans not
Ooh,
eat
that'd be
well?
great.
The ARPG dungeon games
Yeah.
like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink or the Dragon's Crown. Those type of games. They're not eating well.
Yeah.
I feel like like in general though, I hate this conversation because it's like it's two genres against each other that doesn't really have, as you said earlier, much at this point. It's preference. You can't be right about that. As well as like y'all are. If you look at the other RPG niches, you guys are eating way too good. And then the
Yeah.
third point I hate is point out you're just using it as a way to just, hey, Final Fantasy 16 sucks, dude. That game is like above mid. It's not. It's not the worst game. It's a game that I would say get it on sale. The
Yeah,
critiques.
I mean, as much as people want to like clown on Final Fantasy, even if you have like a bad Final Fantasy, it's still a pretty decent game. It's
Yeah,
just people have Final Fantasy expectations through the roof. They want to have every single one be like their 9 or their 7s.
you got like not personally. I'm still waiting for my Final Fantasy 6, but like that's me. But whatever.
The 6 is going to take a while for them to try to get back to.
Look, the team ain't coming back, man. And Nova's retired, so my dreams are
Yeah.
slowly dwindling out of here. You know who's like
Yeah, it's gonna be a while, and it'll probably have to be the whole brand new team to get up something the same quality as 6 again.
Yeah, and by the way, who's not eating well too? Particular series, Kingdom Hearts. That summer vacation ended years ago, man.
It's only been what 3 years since the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer.
God, exactly. Like, get out of like you guys are complaining about like, no, dude. Trust me, there are more people who are having a worse time than you, and
Yeah.
you guys got to put it together and just play what you like. And even by the way, there's tons of indie RPGs that are great, like Beloved Rapture, A Sea Among Stars, Dark Deity 2. You know, there's a couple of great RPGs out there you can play. Hell, there's even roguelike RPGs.
Yep.
Star Renegades. Mad, I believe there's one SRPG that's coming out. Escape the Mad Empire, something like that. Mad Empire, where it's a RTS kind of a dungeon crawler RPG that it's like also roguelike. Like, you could probably remind me in the comments below. I think it's something called Mad Empire. I'll look into it. But like, you guys got to be kidding me, man. Like, y'all need some help. Actually, I'm gonna type it in right now. I'm looking at my Steam. Mad and yeah, Escape the Mad Empire. That's it. Yeah, check that out. That one's really good too. Escape the Mad
Yeah.
Empire. I don't think it has pad support yet. That's what I'm waiting on. But it's in early access. You could try it out. Oh, I played it a week ago. If you guys like Orcs Must Die, tower defense ARPG style game. The Castle the Alchemist. Yeah, I played out on stream a couple days ago. That was pretty crazy. Is it Castle the Alchemist or Alchemist Castle?
Yeah. So there are options. There are tons of games in both genres that are going pretty well. And I definitely think that there's definitely space to have both of these genres exist in the RPG space. Especially if you are someone who has a preference for one or the other. If you're someone who likes turn-based, you have a ton of RPGs to choose from. If you're someone who likes action or games, you are someone who has tons of RPGs to choose from. And it's kind of ludicrous to want to have one genre basically just be the only one to exist.
Exactly, and it's super bad because it's like you're limiting yourself as well as like this is also a thing to me. I have a problem with like certain fan bases where I don't think you're fans of the thing. You just like that thing. Like you're not a RPG fan, you're a Final Fantasy fan, which is not an insult because it's like you're not playing the other genres. It's like we joke about this a lot on the podcast and several on trailer reactions. Play more Legend of Hero games. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And speaking of Legend of Hero games, let's talk about my adventures in Legends of Hero, baby.
We should.
Yeah, we should. I finally finished the Aaron Way arc. It's great. We did it.
Oh, you gotta meet the tyrant.
Yeah, the tyrant. That was some really good writing. This race to Aaron Way. Spoilers, I know the game is old, but yeah. My favorite part is I think I took a screenshot, and you could probably, if I could, I'll post a screenshot here. But it's Aaron walking into the Van Arcade office and saying, I have nowhere else to go, so I guess you have the honor of hanging out with me. He's still arrogant and homeless. I respect this man. He's like,
I got nowhere to go, so I'm adopting you.
Yeah,
like wait, what?
Yeah. We're friends now. Like, no, we're not. You're a piece of crap. I hate you.
We spent this entire time with you getting angry at me for doing anything.
Exactly.
Yep, we did. But now you have to deal with me.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part about it, like, he's so, again, Aaron Way is so arrogant. I want women and men to love me. Please, I'm one of the beautiful people. Like, oh, geez.
I don't judge. They just have to like me.
Exactly. Like, yeah. Aaron Way is, standing up for all genders. It's not about men and women. It's about you liking me. Like, I could see him just giving a thumbs up. Like, it's all about me. What's also funny is that like his childhood friend Ashton is only in love with Cal. I think it's Cal, right?
It's Sal.
Sal. Sal. It's in love with Sal. It's like you're in love with evil older men. Oh my god. And then
there are people that have those types. I mean, there are people who still have like a big love for like Aizen. Especially after the turn to evil.
Aizen actually did actual genocides. Oh my god, he's hot. He did genocides! Legitimate genocides! He's hot though. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god.
Have you seen the way that he shifts his hair backwards with his greased hand?
Oh god. Have you seen like half the fan art of him just standing on the water? I'm like, please stop. I'm like, please. Yeah, God. What's also funny about the Aaron way is like Ashen also said about Aaron. It's like, don't worry about it. He's only into older women. I'm like, is that why he insulted Elaine, our queen? Like, okay, he should have been killed, but
Exactly.
he should have been killed. Oh God. Oh, that was so funny. I think another thing I also like enjoy the Aaron Way arc is obviously Langport's a cool town. I love the aesthetic of it. I generally like the even like the elements of the NPCs of talking. It's great. There was Pasta Man. I respect Pasta Man. You know what? I'm
Yes.
I'm I'm in a predominant Eastern Asian culture society, and I'm gonna sell spaghetti. I'm like, my man. I respect
He
you.
has found his life goal, baby.
Yeah. God. The only thing I also found cool was like learning more about Van. Like his I think his which by the way, I'm surprised he didn't get sued for this from Marvel. His fight style's called Kunlun. Kunlun is a place in Marvel, but not a fighting style. So I'm surprised he didn't get sued. But the difference is that Kunlun in Marvel is spelled K''UN Lun.
Yeah.
In Trails in Legend of Heroes, it's Kunlun with the actual no apostrophe. So I respect that.
Yeah.
So I kind of find it cool. They talk about the other various fighting styles in the game, and that's how when
Yes.
Van learns his I call it the free turn buff. Oh yeah, buff myself and get free turn, and that's about it. So before I talk to other things of the story, I feel my current party. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Fairy. I only use Fairy for the 2 buffs that she gives me. A res, a attack, and insight. Otherwise, I don't care what she's doing. I really don't care.
Yeah, no, I mainly only used Fairy for outside turn-based because she has a lot of range.
Yeah, so you can get the sneak attack on people, yeah. The
Yeah.
surprise attack, yeah. And I feel like Aaron Way is great, but Aaron Way needs to be like buffed and positioned because of some of his abilities cost his own HP, as well as the moment they target him, he's like paper. He just gets hit.
Yeah, no, he is the glass cannon of the group. He can do lots of damage and he's fast, but once he gets hit, he is gone.
Yeah, my favorite part about it is like how even if you it's his like what I love about the Legend Daybreak is that when other people have turns, other people commentate, he's like, "Go on, you old fart, just impress me, Anyas, do something." I'm like, "Why are you talking smack? We're on the same team. I hate you." All you, Anyas, is like, "Yeah, this'll hurt." It's like, I guess you're not that bad, old fart. I'm like, really? I'm only 24. Get out of here, man.
I'm only like 5 years older than you do. He's like, yeah, but that's a whole 5 years.
Yeah, you're dying, old man. You're getting gray. Like he came back. If you stressing out, get gray hairs. Gray hairs. Like, God dang it. I also I do unironically. I'm Melchior. Okay, I swear to God, I'm going to fall down a rabbit hole. I think Melchior has some NSFW art. I'm just calling it right now. He got spicy art. I know that man has spicy art. I'm not like that man has spicy art about him, and the English VA sells it. That's all I gotta say.
They chose a really good cast for this game.
Oh God. And okay, look, I know Viola's evil, but mommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I like how Alexandre is so calm and confident talking to Van, and they're just chatting about stuff. And I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? You don't understand. We're both older men. This is just a job. You know that, right? You're a crazed psychopath, Yandere. I'm doing this because it's a job. There's a difference."
Yes.
Yeah, God.
There is a difference.
Also, oh God. So I see that you were trained with using the military experimental stun caliber raid. Yes, good you picked up that. And I see this instant bracer yourself. What are you talking about? Just kill him. Excuse me, we're talking here.
We are having a conversation. We don't kill until after.
Exactly. Have some
be
respect.
Civilized.
Yeah, be civilized. Jesus. So I actually think the Langport arc was well written. I love it. I loved towards the end of it. By the way, all the pieces were there for you to solve it. Not even about Aaron is tyrant, which I was a nice twist. The pieces were there that I believe it's Yue, the old man that was washing your car. I mean, I'm afraid it's Yeye. It's the old man that took care of that was
Yeah, I think
responsible.
it's UA.
Yeah, I think it's UA. You could double check. My English is bad, but you could double check that like Van towards the end put the pieces together. It's like, hey, a second. It was weird. Those guys knew everything about you, right? They knew about the tyrant. They were younger than me. Wait, they're younger than you? They were younger than me? They knew about the tyrant.
Yes.
They knew about this place. They knew about the legend. And you're the only person who just knew where they were going to be. Isn't that strange, old man? Yeah, I think it's Lau. Yeah, Lau. It's Lau. I'll just call it Lau for it. Yeah, I think it was Lau. Yeah, Lau. I forgot his last name. And I love how he portrayed Lamport because he believed, which is good writing as a character, that the current way of the Hayu, because the Hayu is run by families and it has like some kind of it's a criminal democracy to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
And Ashen's not boyfriend is
Totally not.
totally not boyfriend is climbing up the ladder, which I'm gonna butcher
Yep.
his name. It's not Cal, right? It's
Yeah, it's Sao Lee.
Sao Lee. There you go. Southtown. Okay, got it. Again, English is not my native language. You guys, I'm letting you know now, politely. So Sao has been playing the game for a long time. He clearly has climbed up the ladder. Some of the elders don't like him for obvious reasons. He's a sneaky, swarmy bastard. Let's be honest. But
yes,
he's evil and hot, but not hot like Aaron. Let's be like that. Aaron only gets women and men. Sal only gets women, particularly young girls who are into evil men, which is a whole different subgenre.
Yes.
Again, make this very clear. But he was aware that Sal was climbing the turret. So in order for the elders to maintain power, they were willing to get the tyrant to destroy everything and put them back in place. And then if things go bad,
much, yeah.
And then things get bad, the Yin will come in and take over. By the way, shout outs to Van knowing that Yin is a woman, and then saying that they're not into. Don't worry, they're into some guy in a crossbell mention.
No, they're into some guy in a crossbow, just some guy.
Just some guy. Overcoming those barriers. You know how it is.
Overcoming the barriers of being called as this guy.
This guy, yeah. I deeply, deeply love that. That was really interesting. But yeah, I feel like he columbled it so well because it wasn't like, okay, one of my problems I have with some games when I use detective stuff is that they pull the logic out of their butt. Or it's just a dancing mocking a tool. All the ways to figure out that Lau was a traitor was there. And the fact that Van put it together, he's Japanese Columbo. Changed my mind.
Yeah.
I love that about him.
It's funny because I always think of like the way that Trails does detectives. You have the Lloyd, who is basically like Sherlock in the sense that he can notice almost everything that happens around him, except for social cues. He's really bad at social cues, but everything else he's really good at gathering evidence on.
Yeah.
And then you have Van, who everything kind of just happens and he figures things out.
It's a Columbo, because Columbo would play a aloof idiot and then he actually knows what's happening. It's like, really? So you played Final Fantasy on your memory card, but doesn't Final Fantasy require 2 memory cards? Oh, got him caught. No. And I find that cool. One of the issues that I have, like this is like when I was playing so I would play Daybreak on my Steam Deck. I recently started trying to put more time to play it on my tower that I built, right? And the frame rate is total butt cheeks. So what I had to do was move it up to Ultra. Because I was playing it on performance mode. It looked horrible. And I'm like, oh my god, I have a real computer now.
You could actually put things on things that aren't low settings.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not one of the poors anymore. The poors. God.
You can see the 120 frames per second beauty of Daybreak.
Exactly. With all its glorious... I'm sorry, what's the insult? This game is a PS3 game. Yeah, all its PS3 graphics, which...
That's great PS3 graphics, yep.
Oh my god. Which, off tangent, why do people say that about the Legend of Hero games? All their games look outdated. Like my brother in Christ. It's not how it looks, it's how it plays, okay? You play a game because of the gameplay. I play...
Yeah.
Like, there's a game called, I think I told this before, I recommend everyone play, called Thomas Was Alone. It's one of the best indie games of all time. It's a game about shapes and it has narrations. It's the best game you ever play. I highlight it. It's all minimalism. Play it. It's not about the graphics, Spider-Man.
No.
But I really need to beat Daybreak like really fast. I need to beat this game like quick. And I'm debating after I come back at PAX East is to like on Fridays, so I've done like last year, like RPG Fridays or RPG
Yeah.
Tuesdays, like one of those RPG days, Tuesday or Fridays. I would just stream myself playing Daybreak and beating one chapter every stream. I'm debating doing
Yeah.
that so I get the Daybreak too. If you guys are interested in that, let me know where you can hit me up in the comments on Blue Sky, or hit up the Outerhaven Twitter and Blue Sky. Hit me up on Twitter at Getselious, Twitter, Blue Sky Getselious. Hit me there and let me know. Yeah, I would like to see you do 4 hours of Daybreak just because,
Do it.
And the only thing I'll need is liquid death to keep me sustained, or jokingly, is change my habits. So one of my habits I have is I work out. I lost a lot of weight working out. I weigh less than I weigh in from college to high school. I lost a lot of weight. I weigh less than I weigh in high school now because I would go on runs. I would drink. So I wake up in the morning. I have a coffee. Then before my workout, I eat lunch and then I have an energy drink. I drink the energy drink. I wait 10 to 15 minutes. Whatever happens, happens, and I go out and start running. And I get enough energy, I burn that energy, I come back. After that, I don't drink any caffeine for the rest of the day. Liquid Death has like at best 10 grams of caffeine. I'm good. Don't worry about it. So I'm debating that if I do this, I'm not kidding, that I drink no coffee in the morning. In the afternoon, I do my energy drink combo where I do my workouts. And then at evening, when I do my RPG week, I make my coffee and drink it while I'm playing this game to survive. Because no offense to the Legend of Hero games, even though at Daybreak I consider much faster compared to other games, which is compared to other Legend of Hero games, which is true, it is much faster.
Yeah.
It's still a slog experience. It's not an insult. It's just a slog. So I'm gonna need some coffee so I can like talk and play through it. So yeah. So with that off the way,
There's a lot.
with that out of the way, I think that we should talk about the upcoming Golden Week sales. And I think Scott is going to talk more about this and what we should probably throw our money at.
Alrighty, so this week being, Golden Week in Japan, means that a lot of the Japanese publishers, or I guess games that have Japan roots, are having Golden Week sales, especially those in Steam, but there's also the case in if you look at like Nintendo Switch or PlayStation or Xbox, they also have a lot of these same sales going on. And so I took a few looks at some of the games that I liked and thought that some other people should probably take a look at Steam specifically, just to show there's a lot of actually really good sales going on for these games. So the first one that I'll be talking about will be Sandland. So if you haven't played Sandland yet, which if you have a problem of not wanting to spend like $60 on a game because it doesn't look like the one you want, well, good for you is this week Sandland is only $30, and that's from the Bandai Namco Golden Week sale. There's a bunch of other ones, especially if you like want to play any of the SAO RPGs. It's just I don't generally recommend those, but those are also pretty dirt cheap this week. But Sandland I do recommend because it's a fantastic game. It has a great art style, and it's about one of the passion projects of the late Akira Toriyama, bless his heart and his soul.
And giving people work. I mean, jokingly, like the fact that his entire company like still produces content to this day to give people work, with Toyo-san and everything else, and the fact that we live in an era where his work is in print. If you want to know what Sandland is about before checking out, the manga is in print. You can buy the one shot. It's available.
Yep, you can do that. Watch the anime, read the manga, play the game. Lots of Sandland. The next game on that I wanted to just briefly talk about is AI the Somnium Files. That is only $8 this week. They're getting primed and ready for the next game in the AI Somnium Files list, which is be No Sleep for Kaname Dante, which is coming out later this year. But right now you can get the original AI the Somnium Files for in the $7.99, so $8, and that's from the Spike Chunsoft Golden Week sale. Another one from the Spike Chunsoft Golden Week sale is a game that was more of that I used to like, because it's one of those games that I used to play back in the PS2, PS3 era, which was the Way of the Samurai series. So they have Way of the Samurai 3 and 4 on sale for this week for like $4. So $4 for 3 and $5 for 4.
That's crazy.
And those games are actually kind of just all over the place. If you're someone who likes like the Yakuza series, just because of how just wacky the vibes are, this is a game for you. This is also one of those games that just have like really wacky vibes. And a lot of these, especially I think 4 in particular, has like a bunch of different gameplay routes. You can do choices and stuff. You can even like lose fights, and like you'll take different paths in the game. It's just one of those ridiculous, just all over the place type of games, and it's kind of really fun to play. Part of the Sega Golden Week, there is actually a lot of things on sale, but there's not a lot of them are like really good sales for the Sega Golden Week. They're more just like, oh, they're like 40% off or like 30% off. One that I found was really good that's 50% off is the Persona 4 Golden game. Just because Persona 4 Golden is a really good Persona game, one that you probably should experience. Especially because Persona 3 and Persona 5 have been highlighted a lot recently. I think 4 is one that kind of gets out of the talking points now, unless like you're in the weird Reddits where they have the really bad talking points for Persona 4.
God,
they haven't actually played the game and they just talk
I-
about it to talk.
You know, the sad part is like I said this months ago, and I said months ago, a long time ago. It's like these same people would not apply the same logic to Persona 3, and they don't, because Persona 3 is doomer and edgy for them. That's about it. No, they don't. This Persona 3 is just as problematic. If you're going to apply the same logic, yeah, 3 is pretty problematic as well. I mean, the game tells you essentially to unalive yourself, and that's one of the talk. It's one of like
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
I recommend to play the game and don't read about it in Reddit forums, because otherwise you're gonna have a completely different idea of what the game's about.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like to me.
Another one, speaking of Persona, that I would highly recommend. So there's a bundle that they're doing with Persona 5 Royal and Metaphor ReFantazio, both games for $70.
That's a steal.
Which I think is a pretty good deal.
That is a steal. Not gonna lie, that's a steal.
Yeah, so getting both of those games for $70 is a fantastic deal to get, especially because that's going to be like 200, 300 hours of game time for you.
Yeah. Also,
and both of those games are really good.
Yeah. Also, the thing is like off tangent. The same bad logic from Reddit also applies to 5, but I also don't see it from Metaphor, because Metaphor is edgy. Again, it's like I've always hated this. Like, yo, if you're going to say that Atlas RPGs or the mainstream Atlas RPGs are like problematic and you only apply it to some and not all, I'm like, come on, man, what are you really saying? And even then, you have to like argue people like, yo, by the way, my opinion, Persona 4 is the best because of the music and everything else. I think Persona 5 is good. I think Persona 5 is good, but personally, everyone has a favorite Persona. My favorite Persona is 4.
Yeah.
It got me through a lot.
Yeah, a lot of times when you talk about people in like Persona, it's usually like the first Persona they've like played is usually the one they're attached to, because it was like the first time they experienced the Persona type gameplay and relationship building system and everything. Mine was personally 3 on the PSP, but I did love 4 on the Vita back when it was a Vita exclusive.
Yeah, Golden is Golden was so good, man. So much content put in that game.
But it's funny because I played Persona 5 Royal. Well, I played originally Persona 5, then I went to Royal. Then when I went back to Persona 3, because I got my PSP back out just to check it, and I realized that my teams were terrible. I was so bad at the game.
Oh God, yeah. It's one of those, yeah. Like, it's like in the beginning, like when I first played Persona 4, I was like, yeah, Yukio was great. And I'm like, me playing Golden now, just screw her. Get out of here. Let me get Chie.
Over Chie, get those kicks.
Get those kicks. What now? Yeah, but yeah, it's like honestly, real talk, that's a good steal. Though I think the discount is applying more to the combo deal on Steam is probably cutting more of the Persona 5 Royale over Metaphor, because Metaphor is still relatively new. So, but at the end of the day, even if you're paying full, I think you're paying full price for Metaphor. That's a great deal because Persona 5
Yeah.
Royale is like cut in half, so take your pick.
Yeah, so pretty much that. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're just cutting Persona 5 Royal's price in half, and then adding Manticore Fantasio to be like, hey, but if you pay additional little bit more money, we'll get you an entire new game.
Entire brand new game, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, and the last one that I put on the list, just because this is something that I always take a looks at sales that go on with like the Atelier games, because I always like looking to see when I can get like games for cheap for the Atelier series, because sometimes they do really good deals, like the Sophie like trilogy originally I got for like $30 for all three of them. So Atelier Ryza 1 is on sale for $14.99 and 2 for $19.79. That's not generally that different of a sale, but the one that is a big difference now is 3. Atelier Ryza 3 is now only $30. The biggest sale that it's had since, like, basically before this was like a $45. So this is actually a pretty good discount on Ryza 3. So if you're someone who's been waiting on playing Ryza 3, this is a good time to get the game at only $30.
That's a steal. That's a steal.
And I'm guessing the reason why they're fine of doing the $30 deal now is because Yumiya just came out.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta get people to play. We gotta get the people where to get them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy though. But that's
Alrighty. So those are like just like my. I took like a 30-minute period of just looking at different sales that are going on Steam. But yeah, so Golden Week sales are this week. Make sure if you want to get a game for cheaper than full price and you are taking a look at some of these sales, this is the week to do it.
yeah. You know
Especially
what?
if you're someone who wants to get a good JRPG.
Yeah. You know what? And I do mean this politely. Yakuza Infinite Wealth is half off as well. That's a steal.
That's a
Yakuza.
good price.
That's
Yeah.
a good price. Half off for which is Yakuza 8 essentially. Infinite Wealth. That's half
Yeah.
off. They also even got price off for Yakuza like if you like your Majima pilled, that's a good deal. But yeah, I think Golden Week is pretty. Golden Week sales are pretty crazy, man. They try to get oof. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're really good, especially for the Japanese publishers usually. But not a lot of the Western publishers take part for, I guess, obvious reasons. They don't celebrate Golden Week.
Right. Nor, I mean, they don't. Well, they should probably participate in it to get people to buy more money. You have any idea, like a good Steam sale will empty a man's wallets? That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, we know the best from summer sales. Summer sales of Steam is probably the one where my wallet screams the most, because it's just like, holy crap, all these prices are so good.
Summer and winter kills me, man.
Yeah.
Summer and winter be killing me. Oh god. Actually, anytime they do a seasonal Steam sale and it hits exactly, like, I kid you not, like if it hits like a third of my wish list, I'm cooked. I'm like, all right, guys, time to eat ice. Time to eat ice water soup for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm gonna get a large $5 pack of ramen.
Yeah,
And that is my meal for the month.
like I like to have a 5-pack order of ramen. Skip the ramen and the pack. Like, actually, just keep the paper. I'll eat that. Like, sir, how much money do you have on you? And I roll up. I look at them smilingly. I pull the 1 penny out of my pocket. Tap the table. Go. That's what I got, baby. All you. You have a penny.
Whatever gets me with this.
Yeah. Whatever. How much does get me? Oh my god. But if you think we're crazy about those recommendations for Golden Week, you should check out our recommendation we have for the month of April. So let's check out the games we recommended for the month of April 2025. Bam. So the first game I'm gonna recommend, I think, is Scott's game. So Scott, let them know what this game you're recommending.
Yeah, so the first one that I'd want to recommend, as we were talking about, like, some of the SRPGs are basically you have to wait for indies. So the 100 Line Last Defense Academy is out now, and it's done from the creators of Danganronpa and Zero Escape, and it's essentially the whole plot of the game is protecting this academy for 100 days. And it's also a large part as a visual novel where you have to make decisions and hope that you can make everyone survive or fight for you. Because you want to have this facility protected from all these different threats, and you have to have your classmates also help. Sometimes they won't, though. But the fun thing is in battles, it's like an SRPG, and it's a lot of basically you having to position your units to defend the entire academy, hence the Last Defense Academy. So that's the whole premise of it. I think it's a really great premise, and it has a lot of content. The first like route is like 40 hours ish long, and then you have apparently 100 different endings in the game that you can get to. So good luck getting all of them, but it's a really solid game. When I played the demo last month, I really enjoyed it. And this is one that I definitely am going to get the full game of eventually, either this month or next month. But it is definitely one I'd recommend. It has been published by Exceed Games here, but by the actual developers. It's self-published in Japan. But it's a high recommend from me. If you can find it, you should. It's on Switch and on PC.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty up there. That's a lot of time to be spent down for like a me personally, if I have to replay a visual novel after a 40-hour run, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to watch I'm going to I will save scum, as this podcast said. You support save scumming, so you get the because
Yes.
once I get that true ending, I'm not playing anymore. That's too much work. I'm save scumming way to the top.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. But here's a game that both Scott and I are going to recommend to you, and it's Dokapon Sword of Fury.
Yes.
I hate you. I hate my friends. You want to prove that you're an antisocial sociopath? This is a game for you. This is the OG
Yes.
version of Dokapon Kingdom, and my God, the amount of things you could do in this game is just crazy. It has a lot of premises you can do, and there's choices from like choosing you want to spare your friend or work with your friend, but your friend backstab you in the end. Think of it as a Mario Party RPG where you can lose. I best to describe it as, what if Munchkin was a video game? You know Munchkin? Yeah, this is Munchkin the video game. And
Yeah, I love the Dokapon series. I played a bunch of Dokapon Kingdom, and having the OG Dokapon Sword of Fury come out was actually something I wasn't expecting. But you look at the graphics and you look at like how many different like body types and like monster types there are, it actually makes me excited to try to look at the old OG Dokapon.
it's crazy. It's a crazy game. It's super fun. Again, if you value your friendships, if you don't, you know what? He was never a friend anyway. You know why? Because he didn't help you save the world with his body. Shield me with your body. That is literally how you do it. Shield me with your body, and you could actually win fights that way. I kid you not. You could actually make someone sacrifices. Classic Dokapon strategy. So, a game. Let's see. A game that we also both recommend is, we mentioned it earlier in the stream. Early in the stream, actually early in the podcast is.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's actually. Oh my God! I think it's bugged. It's not. Oh God! It isn't working. Wow, that's crazy.
We have
So
a bug in the
with
system.
a bug in the system, that's just so crazy, bro. Can't believe it. Yeah, it is. Okay, there it is. So there's a game that we both recommend. It's a we talked about Claire Obscure X33. This
Yep.
game is, as Scott talked more about it previously. Don't listen to the paper. This is a game that, I mean politely, is executed perfectly. It is
Yeah.
not a game that does something new. It is executed excellently. The story is strong. The mechanics are good. This is one of the very few times that I've been saying for a while. It's not about the best RPG Spider-Man. It's about how well executed you are. And this game executes the mini game mechanic like the Mario Luigi RPGs of Nintendo does well. Its turn-based strategies are equal in depth compared to the Legend of Hero games, and it's just a gorgeous game to look at across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to love about this game. It has some fantastic characters. You get to see some fun arcs. The world itself is fun to explore, and it has some really interesting environmental storytelling when you go into different stages. And it has some, phenomenal, gorgeous looking set pieces that you can see in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, the only complaint I have about this game is make sure you know your PC specs, because
Oh yeah.
This game could like cause some stuttering and some issues if you don't know your PC specs well, because this game is running on insanely high fidelity. But man, it's a masterpiece of art.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Square Enix for giving them a shout out. Final Fantasy 17, like, yeah, this was a good game. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's right. Like, let's again, reminding everybody, Western people can make good RPGs. The problem is it's not the developers, it's the publishers and the people on top who don't know what they're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
looking at you, Ubisoft and EA. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. That's like y'all, you guys don't know what you're doing up there. But yeah,
Yeah, you don't need too much. I mean, you shouldn't have too much overhead that messes with your games. And I think Clear Obscure shows when you don't have any overhead too, you also have some really good passion projects that can work out very well.
pretty much. And like I said, the next game I personally gonna recommend to you is going to be one of my favorite RPGs of all time, the Luna Chronicles series. I grew up playing this game. I had a PS1 and a Game Boy. This game is peak to me. I love the it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was younger, romance, good basic shojo romance series hit me like a ton of bricks, and this hits that
Aw.
aesthetic. Um, you save your girlfriend who turns evil for the moon god. You're on a whole journey to save them. I love the remastered graphics. The music is excellent. I'm just happy to do such a good job for this game and series. I'm like, thank you. You done me good. You done me good, man. You done me good. They even maintained this simple art aesthetic by remastering the OG anime art. It's just chef's kiss. This is a game I
Yeah.
feel like if you're looking for a turn-based RPG and you're looking for something more obscure, something new, a new thing, Lunar is up your alley. It's a very unique game. I would say, you know what? If you like Breath of Fire, you'll like Luna. 100%. 100%. I think that's the way to
Yeah.
describe it. I highly recommend this game to everybody. I think it's a great system. I think the only thing that hurts about this game is that outside you look at it, it looks a bit dated, it's old, but that charm is part of it. This was definitely for those who are traditional anime enjoyers, or you're looking for, and I mean politely, the back when my day, my RPGs had loading screens, and the loading screens were animated. Yeah, that's for you. This game is for you. But jokingly, this is a game I recommend. 5 out of 5 would recommend to everybody. It's a classic turn-based RPG. It's something that is, I feel sad because this is one of the RPGs, like many of the time, that just not didn't get lost to time per se, but never got the shine it got because it's really good in its own right. Nor
Yeah.
it kind of never got like revisited. And that's the thing I feel. That's the thing that hurts me about older RPGs that I like, or older RPGs I know. Like, man, I would kill somebody. Look at it like, you know what? Let's try this again. Let's try this RPG again. Let's try this again.
Would be nice, especially because there's so many RPGs from back in the day, and not a lot of them got brought back forward to the current era.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not because they're bad, or somebody something company bad. It's just like a lot of things got lost in the shuffle of time and people's errors. Again, I knew of Luna because I found it at a store and I picked it up, as well as I was also in with a set of people that were playing a bunch of different RPGs at the time. Again, during the PS1 era, and even Game Boy Advance era, because games were cheap, my dad would give me like $50 and I'll buy 3 random games, and I would play them.
Yeah.
That's it. Go to
You can either
games.
buy 3 random games or rent for like a whole 2 months.
Exactly. And like as Scott was telling me too, is like, again, this was word of mouth, so people know about it. Like Scott was telling me, this is no insult to Scott. Scott had a PS1, but he has no idea this existed during the PS1 era.
No, but also to be fair to me, I only had like 3 PS1 games, period, and that was Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy IX, and Twisted Metal.
Yeah, so it's like, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
So it's
I
kind of
had more games in the PS2 era, but that's because I started getting older.
yeah, because you started had this thing called money.
Yes.
Like money is really important. Like, yes, it is. It is the most important thing you'll ever have. This most important thing. But jokingly, it's like that's kind of what happened. Just people didn't have access to it and word of mouth. It was a different era. It wasn't like, jokingly go to outerhaven.net, look up reviews and find some game you could play. It's not like you can go on Twitter or YouTube. The internet wasn't there. So a lot of people found games or things they like through discovery. And I miss that about games. I still do that. And that's why I play a lot of indie games. But that era is kind of quote unquote gone, or it affects different people. Like there are games that Scott played that I probably never played at all from like PS1 or PS2, and as probably you too, listener/viewer. There's tons of games that we've never played in the same circle. I had friends who played NFL Street. NFL Street. I don't even know what that is. That was apparently because I only played NBA Street. I didn't play that. They enjoyed the crap out of that game. Yeah, times change.
Yeah, I enjoyed NBA Street a lot actually.
Good times. And speaking of things that Scott and I both enjoy, it took a decade. It took a decade of time, but we finally got it.
Talking about games that didn't make it to the current era but are now. No.
Yeah, they're here now. Yeah. They made it. They made it today. Today, the day of my daughter's wedding. They made it. Like
We got Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero.
Yep. I can't believe they made a sequel to this. I thought NIS. I thought they'd give it up. It was like it's Disgaea only, and that's it. We're a Disgaea company.
I mean, pretty much what it felt like. Disgaea was like their bread and butter. It was like the only thing we would see that was consistent from NIS. So I'm really happy that they brought Phantom Brave back, and not just brought it back, but also had a sequel for it.
Exactly, and I'm like, and I think you did a review for this, if I'm correct, right?
I did. It was one of the ones that I actually gave a 5 out of 5. I really loved the way that they brought it back, and I think it also helped because it had major like One Piece vibes and how it would do the actual like pacing of each island. There's like a conflict you have to get over. There'd be a new party member you'd get, and then it'd be like on to the next island. And then you got to learn a lot more about like how the islands worked, how the pirate ships worked, how pirating itself worked in this place. As well as like you got a lot more aspects of Phantom Brave and the characterization and how everything works in with that. So I think they did a really fantastic job making the sequel.
Yeah, and the best part about it, like it's such like if you like this guy, you'll probably like this, but it's so different, and I'm very happy they did that because they could have just this guy pilled the game and like that's it. It's this guy.
Yeah, they could have easily just basically made the Disgaea system and then called it Phantom Brave, but no, they made a whole new like engine that had like basically the entire battle engine is different, but like it still has the same aesthetics of like a Disgaea, like Disgaea 7.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that, and I think it's really cool. I generally can't wait for this game to just generally do better. I just can't wait for like this game to like live their dream, Speaking of which, they should always live their dream. Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, I hope you guys check these games out. And that's all the games we recommend for you guys. We recommend The 100 Line Last Defense Academy, Dokapon Sword of Fury, Lunar Remastered Collection, Phantom Brave The Lost Hero, and Clair Obscure Expedition 3033. That's the games we recommend.
Definitely get them.
Definitely get them. And without the way, want to thank everyone that watched and or listened to the fourth episode of the Support Safe Scumming podcast. Sithscott and I will be back next month with more RPG goodness. And remember, if you're not safe scumming, start now.
Do it.
All right, later, everybody.
See ya.